Do you find yourself shopping for someone this year who color codes their calendar, has strong opinions about note-taking apps, or genuinely gets excited about workflow optimizations? Then you found the right gift guide, as we're gonna get into some killer holiday gift ideas for the productivity nerd in your life. As someone who's built their career around optimizing productivity systems and spends their days helping people maximize their digital workflows, I know exactly what makes productivity nerds light up, and more importantly, what actually delivers lasting value versus what just looks impressive under the tree. So in this video, I want to share some of my gift recommendations for the PKM nerd in your life, whether that's someone you know who's impossible to shop for, or simply something that you want to pick up for yourself. No judgment here. Now, I've broken my picks down into the following 4 categories: tech gadgets, productivity tools, reading and books, and fun and games. Each category has 5 picks. For each pick, I've also included why I think a productivity nerd would like it and how much it currently costs. Let's get into the first category here, which are tech gadgets. These are tech gifts that don't just look cool, but can actually make your day-to-day life just a little bit better. The first thing I want to recommend here is the HidrateSpark Pro water bottle. It's about $30 to $80 depending on the version and the capacity. And the reason that I love this so much is that it's a great way to help you drink more water and live a healthier lifestyle. Most of us know we should drink more water, but we need a little help to actually do it. And this smart water bottle automatically logs your water consumption to the Apple Health app, and the LED light on the bottom lights up if you start to fall behind. Kind of like an IRL notification that you need to drink more water now. I have an older version of this water bottle and I absolutely love it. You do need to charge the puck in the bottom every couple of weeks, but no other purchase has had a bigger positive impact on my physical health than this one has. The second pick here is the Stream Deck Neo, which costs somewhere between $90 and $100. The reason that this is so great is it gives you an easy way to add powerful automations to your computer setup. The Stream Deck is an entire automation platform created by Elgato, and there are lots of Stream Deck devices out there that you can use to customize and automate your tech. For example, I have a programmed Stream Deck button that customizes the lighting behind me in my office, so when it's time to record a YouTube video like this one, I just walk in and push a button and everything gets set accordingly. Now, there are lots of Stream Deck devices available, but I picked the Neo because it's a rather small device with just a couple of buttons, and that makes it the ideal way for someone to get started with Stream Deck automation. But even if the person that you're buying this for has a bunch of Stream Deck devices already, it still has a handy display, and I guarantee you they will find a use for those automation buttons. The next gift idea is the Soundcore A30 sleep headphones. These cost between $180 and $230, and the reason these are great is that they block out unwanted noise and help you get good sleep even while you're traveling. These are tiny earbuds that play white noise to help you fall asleep, but what I love about these is that they are designed to be flat in your ears so they won't hurt your ears if you fall asleep with these headphones in. Even if you're a side sleeper like me, you can wear these at night without any discomfort. I actually have multiple versions of these headphones and they're all great. I bring these with me to block out the noise every time that I travel. The next gift idea is the Anker MagGo wireless charger. This costs anywhere between $70 and $90, and this is great because it's really tiny. You can throw it in your backpack and forget all about it until you need it. So speaking of travel, this is an essential tool for someone who travels with their Apple gear. This little UFO looking gadget is about the size of an AirPods case when it's folded up, but you can unfold this to charge your iPhone, your AirPods, and your Apple Watch at the same time from a single USB-C cable. I keep this thing in my backpack at all times, so I always have it with me when I need it. Whenever I travel, this is what I use to charge my devices, as it doesn't take up much room on the nightstand and it's really easy to just keep in my bag. The next recommendation is the fellow Aiden coffee maker. This is a little bit more expensive. It costs about $400, but this is great because it saves you a lot of time by brewing incredible coffee without all the fuss. This is an automated coffee maker from people who are passionate about coffee, and it absolutely nails the temperature and the flow of the water when making coffee, resulting in an incredible cup every single time. It also comes with an app that lets you customize every part of the process, so coffee snobs like me can really dial in their perfect brew without ever having to take the time to do a manual pour over. I frequently mention my coffee robot on the podcast, but this is the thing that I will instantly buy the minute that one breaks. All right, the next category is productivity tools. These are all gift ideas for someone who wants to do a little bit more of what really matters. Now, full disclosure, some of these are tools that I made because I couldn't find exactly what I wanted. The first gift I'm going to recommend here is a SetApp gift card, which costs $107.78 plus tax. It's the exact amount of 1 year of a SetApp subscription. And the reason this is great is that SetApp is an incredible value for Mac and iOS productivity apps. If you do an internet search for best productivity tools, you're going to find 99% of the recommendations are actually apps. So I had to put apps on this list. But if you're looking for the best apps on the Mac, you need to check out the SetApp service. It's basically Netflix for quality Mac apps. So for $10 a month, you can get access to apps like MindNode, Ulysses, CleanShotX, Timing, Clean My Mac, and a bunch of others. This is the easiest and the cheapest way to add some serious productivity tools to your Mac. And whenever I hear about a new app now, my first response is to go check SetApp and see if it's available there to see if I already have access. Many times it is. This is the service for productivity tools on the Mac. The next recommendation is one that I made, that is the Personal Retreat Planner. This costs $29, and I think this is pretty great because it's a planner that helps you get clear on what matters and then helps you plan your weeks and days in alignment with your quarterly intentions. I'm a big fan of multi-scale planning where you align your quarterly, weekly, and daily intentions. I even have a video on my channel here where I walk through my whole multi-scale planning approach. This year though, I created a planner to help me do all of my planning in a single analog notebook. It's wire-bound so it lays flat, it's printed on fountain pen friendly paper, and it walks you through my entire personal retreat process. I created this for myself, but I've heard lots of positive feedback from others who have given it a go. Each notebook lasts an entire quarter, and you can purchase them individually or in bulk and save 15%. And if you want more info on my personal retreat process, then check out this YouTube video first where I walk through the whole thing. The next recommendation is the focused NeuYear calendar. This costs $30, and it's great because it gives you a way to see your whole year at a glance and gives you a visual reminder of what's coming up. The same person that I've partnered with for my personal retreat planner has also been making a custom NeuYear calendar for the Focus podcast for the last 6 years. You can actually see it behind me over here. And this dry erase wall calendar shows the whole year at a glance, but all of the weeks and months run together so it gives you a better view of what's actually going on. Our version also has a habit tracker built in, week numbers for the year and day numbers for the quarter, and both portrait and landscape orientations come in the same calendar because it's printed on both sides. I've used NeuYear calendars forever. This calendar is consistently one of my most important productivity tools. Even if you don't like the Focus version, I highly recommend you get a NeuYear calendar. And pro tip, I also recommend you mount it on foam core at your local FedEx store and use fine tip wet erase markers when you're writing on it. The next recommendation is the Fig Confidant notebook, which costs $28. And this is great because it's a really high quality notebook at a very fair price, and it's a joy to write in. If you just want a nice dot grid notebook, I highly recommend this Fig Confidant. There are nicer notebooks with nicer paper options, but it's hard to beat the value of this hardcover notebook. They offer some custom versions of this, but I prefer the blank one with the cloth ribbon. Now, if you need something to just throw in your bag and carry with you for taking notes, this is a great option. Highly recommend you pick one up. Next recommendation is the time timer. This costs anywhere between $25 and $35, and it's great because it helps you invest your time wisely instead of wondering where it all went. I know a lot of people who use this visual timer to help them focus. Once you set the timer, there's this visual disc that slowly disappears as the timer progresses, giving you a visual indication of how much time is left. Now, the website says that it helps kids and adults with ADHD help see time passing more clearly, but there are lots of ways this tool can be beneficial for anyone who wants to better manage their time. For example, you could get the 30-minute version if you want to use it as a Pomodoro timer, or you could get the 120-minute version if you want something to help keep long meetings at work on track. We've even used the 60-minute version at home to manage video game time. We have several of these at my house. We absolutely love them. All right, the next category is reading and books. These are gifts, mostly books, that the curious sensemakers in your life will love. The first one I'm going to recommend here is The Pathless Path by Paul Millard, but specifically the special hardcover edition. It's kind of expensive at $95, but it's a high quality book and it's a great encouragement to get off the default path and decide what you really want out of life. The Pathless Path is one of my favorite books. Reading it is one of the things that gave me the confidence that I needed to go out on my own almost 2 years ago, and recently Paul Millard released an absolutely stunning hardcover edition of this book with a woven cover and a matching slip box. It's not cheap, but it's a gift that any bookworm will love. So if you know anyone who's trying to make a big life decision, I highly recommend you get them this book. It's a great resource for finding and considering alternatives to the default path. The next recommendation is Tiny Experiments by Anne-Laure Lecumpf. This costs about $15 to $30, and this is great because it gives an alternative approach to productivity through thinking like a scientist. Now, I've never been a big fan of the arbitrary nature of goals, and starting a new habit feels like you're making a lifelong commitment. This book does a great job of balancing these two extremes through the framing of running experiments. Now, you don't need to commit forever. You don't need to pressure yourself to get a specific outcome. You just need to run an experiment for a little while, see what the results are, and then you can decide what to do from there. One of my favorite books of all time. I even did a whole video on this, which you can check out here. The next recommendation is The 5 Types of Wealth by Sahil Bloom. Again, cost is between $15 and $30. And this book is great because it helps you to see that a rich life is more than a certain number of zeros in your bank account. Sahil does a great job of explaining the different types of wealth that we can accumulate in our lives and showing us when each type is most important. This is a great resource for thinking about what's really important and optimizing your life in a way to help you get more of it. What I love about this book is that it's not prescriptive. It just gives you a bunch of scenarios to think about and tactics that you can use to help you do more of what really matters to you. Again, I love this book and I did a whole video on it, which you can check out here. Okay, now this next pick, I'm not sure I'm gonna say this right, but it's the Glocusent Booklight. It's about $20 to $30, and it's an inexpensive way to let you read physical books in the dark without bothering anyone else. It's no secret, I'm a big fan of physical books. I got a bunch of them on the shelf behind me, but one of the problems with physical books is that they're hard to read when you're in a dark place with someone else that you don't want to disturb. For example, maybe you want to read before bed, but you don't want to wake your partner up. Well, this flexible device wraps around your neck and it shines 2 small lights on what you're reading, letting you clearly see what's on the page without bothering anyone else who might be trying to sleep. It looks kind of goofy, but it's really incredible. It's a great quality of life improvement for any reader. Next recommendation is Co-Intelligence by Ethan Mollick. Again, this book is about $15 to $30. And this book is great because it gives you the foundation that you need to navigate the uncertain AI future that we live in with confidence. Like it or not, AI is here to stay, and the LLMs that we use every day are likely just the beginning of the most radical technological change many of us will ever see in our lifetimes. Unfortunately, most AI books tend to be very nearsighted, or they try to teach you how to use the current tools, which by the time they're actually published are actually obsolete. So this book does a great job of explaining how we should be thinking about AI if we want to navigate this uncertain future successfully. And it teaches us the mindsets that we need to use AI in positive, constructive ways. I highly recommend this book. All right, the last category here is fun and games because part of being productive is knowing when to take a break. So these gifts are great for anyone who wants to inject a little bit of fun into their daily routine. The first recommendation here is, again, I might butcher this pronunciation, but the Knody Cribbage board. This is $70 to $75, and it's a quality cribbage board that you can bring with you that's barely bigger than a deck of cards. We play a lot of cribbage at my house, and we have a very nice wood board from the House of Cribbage that we use at home. But this year I also picked up this handmade leather travel board so we can play on the go. And these boards are brilliant. They're handmade, they lay flat, they're incredibly well made, and the board folds around a standard deck of cards, making this leather wraparound travel board easy to throw in your bag or backpack and bring with you wherever you go. The next pick here is a game called Ravine. This costs about $35, and I love this because it's a cooperative survival game that is always a ton of fun to play and usually good for a lot of laughs. So here's the scenario for this game. You and a group of fellow travelers have crash landed on a deserted island, and you have to work together to survive as a group long enough to be rescued. Each player has a certain amount of health, and you have to decide as a group about foraging for food and finding shelter. But things get interesting when your character gets down to a single health point and has to draw what's called a madness card. These madness cards have random effects on the game and usually introduce some hilarious elements like making people call you captain or not being able to use your arms for the rest of the game. In addition to being hilarious, this is a great collaborative game that's easy to pick up and play with just about any group. The next pick is a game called Fiction. This costs $19, and this is a fun twist on a classic word game that can keep you on your toes. So if you've ever played Wordle, you basically know how to play fiction. You understand the basic premise. One player or team is trying to guess the word, and each round gets feedback on which letters are in the right place, which letters are in the word but in the wrong place, and which letters are not in the word at all. The catch? The other team, the librarian, has to pick one clue each round to lie about, and it's up to the guessing team to figure out which ones they're lying about and guess the word within the set number of guesses. If you like word games, you'll like this one. It's pretty easy to pick up, and a full game only takes about 20 minutes. Next pick is a board game called Root, and it costs about $60. This one is great because it's a very cute game which can be deceptively strategic. It's fun for new players and seasoned board game geeks alike. Root is actually described on the website as the cutest little war game you'll ever play. It's asymmetrical, where each player picks a different faction and then you all battle it out for control of the forest. All of the visuals are very cute. All of the characters are animals, making this a great entry-level strategy game for younger players who have a long enough attention span, but it also has enough depth that even serious board gamers will enjoy this one for years to come. Bottom line, if you are serious about board games, this one should probably be in your collection. And as an added bonus, there are a ton of expansions for this to help keep the gameplay fresh and interesting. All right, the last pick here is a game called Fuego. It costs about $25, and this is great because it's a simple trick-taking game that is a ton of fun to play. This fire-themed trick-taking card game can be picked up pretty quick, but there's enough variety here to keep it interesting for a very long time. The whole game comes in a box that looks like a matchbox, and the goal of the game is to take the tricks and the other player's fire tokens. The person with the most fire tokens at the end of the game wins. Now, this is a pretty simple game, but it's incredibly well designed and it's a lot of fun to play. So again, whether you are just starting out and need something that's quick and fun, or you've been playing games for a while and want to add to your collection, this is one that I would highly recommend. All right, so that'll do it for this gift guide video. A little bit different than what I usually do here in the channel, but I thought this could be useful heading into the holidays. And honestly, it just seemed like a lot of fun and it was something I wanted to do. We'll get back to the PKM stuff next week. But just a reminder, if you could use a little help getting more out of your notes and ideas, then sign up for my free email newsletter. A lot of my video ideas start out as original essays for newsletter topics, so it's a bit of behind the scenes for the type of stuff that I normally cover here. The newsletter goes out every Monday morning, and you can sign up at practicalpkm.com. Thanks for watching, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you in another video.